Good afternoon. Welcome to Songbird Creek. I am Kimberly. I just wanted to take a few minutes to welcome you to my garden on this gorgeous February day. You probably wouldn't believe that it's February considering the fact that I am in a t-shirt in my garden, and it's absolutely beautiful today. They said we were going to have a great day weather-wise, and I am in agreement. I believe it is 69 degrees, and 69 degrees in February is completely well above what we should be. I think our average for this region, I am in zone 7A in Maryland, and I think our average temperature is about 45 degrees if I'm not mistaken. So not uncommon this time of the year to have cold, wet, snow, gray, moisture and stuff on our ground. But today it's beautiful. The sun is out. There's a couple of clouds, birds are chirping. So I will take it, like I said. If you're like me, you have been doing all the things you can indoors, awaiting this year's gardening season. I think since December, probably before that, probably since I picked my last tomato last year, I've been anticipating this coming season. But gosh, my seed catalogs I've just gone through them over and over again. I've ordered seeds, I've received the seeds, I've ordered more seeds, I've received those seeds, but there's only so much you can do inside, right? I mean, you definitely, the garden, you want to be outside in it, not inside thinking about it. So because we have such a nice day, I'm outside today trying to get a couple tasks done that I probably wouldn't normally get done just because, with this weather, I just want to take advantage of it. One of those things that I like to do, it's just a couple of things. So one of the things that I do like to do this time of the year when we have a fake spring, because it's what I call this, fake spring or false spring, I've also heard it called. So happy fake spring. But one thing I do like to do is I like to come outside and I like to go over, walk through my garden. The first thing is look at all of my perennials. So things like my bulbs, my daffodils, my hyacinths, my tulips, those types of things. I like to look at those. I like to look at the buds on my berry bushes. I like to see if my asparagus is popping up. I like to see if my garlic, what my garlic that I planted in the fall, what that looks like. If that's something that they're coming through, and do I need to address that? Do I not? Some things that you can do, like with my bulbs, I do have mulch on top of them to further insulate them, to protect them from something like this. I just don't want them to come through too early, and then we have the temperature plummets again, and then next thing you know, the blooms are dead, and it just shortens their lifespan, and there's no real purpose of those things except I like to look at them, right? So if I can prolong that time period that we have them in the garden, then I definitely like to do that. So I'll put mulch on them, you can put straw on them, that sort of thing. Garlic is pretty much okay. Asparagus, same thing. If it does start to pop through, I can always cut it. If we have a couple days that it starts to come up and it's good, this is the first year I will be able to harvest my asparagus, so that's great. So hopefully that'll happen. But if it does pop up early, I'm not too concerned. I can just cut it off and eat it. So that's one thing. Again, I like to just look through my garden and just check out, my perennials, my strawberries. They shouldn't be getting any blooms on them, but I just like to have an idea of what's going on in the cycle of my plants that I have, things that I'm expecting to come back up, this year, or bloom or produce a harvest this year. So there's that. The second thing that I like to do also is I like to walk through and look at all the structures of my garden. So those types of things are like my wooden raised beds, my beds. I also have my trellises, so I have trellises that I've put in, and then like little fences and stuff that I've put around. This time of the year, it's good to get ahead of that, and if you see anything that needs a repair, to do it. I have some wooden beds that we screwed together. Well, with the winter and the change in temperature, the wood shrinks and expands and all that, and sometimes the screws or the nails will pop out. So just be aware, just look through and just take a note, just make a plan for things that might need to be addressed. My trellises, are all my fence posts tight enough in the ground? Do I need to address that once the ground is thawed? I don't think the ground is frozen right now, but I do like to just have an awareness of what I'm going to have to do once the days start to get a little nicer, which should be in like by March, I'm usually able to come out and spend, hours, depending on, in the high afternoon when it's nice enough. So those two things. The third thing that I like to do is I like to go through my pots. Now, I am pretty organized. I do like to put my stuff away at the end of a season. I put my beds to rest, and I also put my my garden shed area, which is really under my deck, my planting area. I like to put that stuff away neat and clean. But sometimes throughout the season, throughout the winter, as I have pots that I might get or things that might have had stuff in it that now I'm not keeping anything in there, just stuff gets put under the deck or in my planting area. So I just like to go through, reorganize, take an inventory, right? It's a good time of the year to take inventory to see the kinds of things that you're going to need besides seeds. Maybe you're going to plant more stuff than you planted last year, which is, I think, something I know a lot of us do. I'm always planting more and more. Last year I had 25 tomato plants. This year I'm going to have 50 or whatever it might be. So, with an expansion of your garden, you're also going to need an expansion of supply. So it's a good time of the year to take an inventory. Just peruse through there and see what you need. Again, take notes, jot it down. A great place to find a lot of that stuff is I use Facebook Marketplace a lot. Probably too much, but that's where I get a lot of my stuff, and it's a great way to acquire the things that you need without spending a lot of money, right? The economy's not great right now. Hey, the lesser I can spend, that's more money in my pocket. I know most people I know do agree with that. So that's definitely something that's useful. And if you have a notepad or just, you've jotted down exactly what you need when you are perusing through Marketplace, you can say, oh, yes, I need some 5-gallon this. Or, oh, hey, I could use another container for water. So something I just recently acquired was for water, for saving water. So a lot of things, this time of the year, just being out in the garden, just having an awareness. They're my top 3 things that I like to do. But even just coming out, spending extra time turning my compost, just tying things up, or just looking at different things. Like I said, my trellises, are they secure? Do I need to move this? And having also a spatial awareness, like maybe starting to visualize, this is where I'm going to put this year, or hey, I have room here for this. I am going to be adding in at least one more bed, and trying to figure out where I'm going to put that, where the sun hits. This time of the year it's hard to predict for the summer, but you can, just to get a visual, just to put yourself in the space and get a feel for it and see, where things are going to be or where you want them, filling up your bird feeders and tending to bird feeders and that sort of thing. We have a lot of songbirds here, or a lot of birds, hence the name Songbird Creek. So I'm always adding more bird feeders and, filling them up, making sure that they're not in disrepair. Do I need to address any of that? So just a couple of things. I am going to get started here, get all these things done. I'm really excited. My puppy Apple is here with me. She wants her mama to come out and walk the garden and, just enjoys this beautiful day. I hope you all have a lovely day. Thanks for stopping in. And again, I'm Kimberly, and thanks for coming in, seeing me at Songbird Creek.